I had a fantastic evening here last night in Dubai, where we went out to this place called Serene by Gaia. It's the second time I've been here in 2 weeks. And there was a bunch of hot girls. There was like loads of hot chicks. Maybe to your sense there weren't hot chicks, because a lot of them were pretty fucking fake and plastic, to be fair. But there were some hot natural girls, to be fair. Most of them were Russians. And I was with a good friend of mine who I haven't seen for many years, that I used to hang out with in Tulum, Mexico, because I escaped COVID in London and went to Tulum and was there partying and having a good time, and obviously getting out of that bullshit COVID life where every country was in lockdown. So I met him there in Tulum, and I haven't seen him for a few years, and we got to meet up and we got to talk, and he just told me that he's having problems with his current girlfriend. And I was like, okay, well, tell me a little bit more about her. You know, I'm an expert at this stuff. I understand female psychology pretty well. Let me break it down and find out why you broke up with her. Maybe she's good, maybe she's not good for you. So he shows me her Instagram profile, talks to me a little bit about how she was acting throughout the relationship. And it was very, very obvious that he made the right decision. The reason for that is because, one, she is a model that is completely obsessed with her looks, as are most models, right? Most models are obviously completely obsessed with their looks. That's all they care about. That's all they have time for. They are self-absorbed, self-obsessed. It only matters how they look. Nothing else really fucking matters, right? It doesn't matter how anyone feels around them. It just matters how they look and whether they're getting jobs. Now, a lot of these girls are also models, you know? So we hear this a lot now in today's society. Oh, I'm a model, I'm a model. You just post hot pics on Instagram and you're a hot girl, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean that you're a model. Being a model means you actually model for one of the big brands, okay? And the big brands don't exactly take on that many models. There's not that many Dior models. There's not that many Gucci models, Calvin Klein models. There's a very small handful of them around the world that everyone actually knows. So unless she's literally got paid partnerships on Instagram with Gucci, with Dior, you know, paid partnerships with Louis Vuitton, then she's not a model. It's just what she's claiming to be. She's just got a bunch of followers and she's a beautiful woman on Instagram. You're not a model, okay? You're an Instagram model. So that's the one thing. That's one thing I thought I'd clear up, which I find fucking hilarious, because apparently everyone's a model, apparently everyone's an influencer now, apparently everyone's a coach. So the world just gets so cringe and over commercialized. But the main issue was that she is being a complete dickhead to him. Right? And I'm not surprised by that, because what he said is that, look, she doesn't do anything in the house. He said she doesn't clean, she doesn't cook, she doesn't organize the house. She just basically does nothing. She actually has her own job. Would you be surprised? A hot girl in Dubai that has a job. Shocker. Impressive, eh? And she still doesn't pay for anything despite making her own money. Now, she doesn't make much money, but she does make some money. But she pays for absolutely nothing. Doesn't put her hand in her pocket ever. Never bought him a coffee, never bought him dinner or lunch or absolutely anything of that kind of sort. So he said he was getting pissed off and he just wanted to break it off, because they were having arguments towards the end, and the arguments were, you know, kind of petty arguments that you'd have with a girl. He was, you know, she was kind of like, she was checking his phone and saying that he was like, you know, talking to other girls and he was being a scumbag, and he's like, no, I'm not. And he's not. He genuinely like wasn't cheating on her, right? I trust my friend, he's a great guy. He wasn't actually cheating on her, but they were getting into sort of small tiffs that any couple would get into and be able to get over if the relationship is strong enough, right? Every relationship is going to have tiffs and arguments, but you need to be able to get over those if the relationship and the foundations are actually strong enough. But in this instance, he literally said it to me. I didn't even have to say anything, right? He answered his own question. He said, bro, she adds no value. She literally does nothing for me, right? She literally does nothing. She doesn't cook or clean. She doesn't buy anything. She's never bought me lunch. She's never bought me dinner. She's literally never done anything for me that's actually useful. And I said to him, well, welcome to the modern beautiful woman, right? This is just how it works these days. Most women are just not adding any value to a man's life. And the thing is that we're actually allowing them to do so and still buying them shit and still treating them well, because we now have a generation of simps. We literally live in a generation of simpy, and especially here in Dubai, oh my God, you would be absolutely shocked, right? Well, you probably wouldn't be shocked, you'd just be laughing, that you've just got these kind of ugly, fat men who have a lot of money, either from family, either inheritance, and they just simp over women, right? They'll just spend a shit ton of money on these girls. Whatever they want, these girls get. They get dinners, they get bags, they get clothes, they get everything. And the girl literally does nothing in return. Literally nothing in return. She just sits there and looks pretty. And apparently what he said to me, what my friend said to me, is that she turned and said, yeah, but you get my feminine energy around you. Is this a joke? That's literally what she said to him. She literally said to him, yeah, but you get my feminine energy in return. What do you mean? Describe your feminine energy. What's your feminine energy actually doing for me? I understand that to a degree. I always talk about feminine energy being very important in a man's life. I need feminine energy in my life, but describe what that actually means. How are you providing feminine energy to my life? Are you making me feel calmer? Are you softening the blows of my difficult life on a daily basis? And that alone really isn't enough. Feminine energy is being a wonderful mother. Feminine energy is keeping a clean house. Feminine energy is being loving and adoring and returning something. Given what the man is doing, he's looking after you, he's paying for all your shit. What are you actually doing in return? And so he finally came to that conclusion, and I was like, finally, a guy that actually gets it, right? He's not a complete simp. He's been a simp in the past, but he's not a complete simp now, because he's realizing that he's getting absolutely nothing in return for all of the things he's doing for this girl and everything that he's actually paying for her. Now, this is extremely, extremely common in Dubai. You're getting so much of this kind of stuff happening in Miami, in Dubai. These older, ugly, rich dudes who are just buying absolutely everything for these women and getting absolutely fuck all in return. And it's complete madness. And it's definitely not something I would ever stand for. Even if I had a shit ton of money, right? I've got plenty of money, but if I had 100 million, I still wouldn't do this kind of shit unless I was older, right? So I will be honest, and I will say there's a caveat here. If I'm 70 and I'm old and I got no choice and I have to pay for attention, I have to pay for a woman to be around me, then I'm probably going to think, fuck it. I'm just going to have to pay this money to have this hot girl around me, even though I know she just wants to bang some young hot dude that just walked in the door. You know, like I was dressed pretty nice last night. I had my black shirt on. I got my chest hanging out. I've been working out every day, looking sharp, rocking in. Like that young hot girl who's with a 70-year-old is looking at me as I walk in because she wants to get banged by me, not by the 70-year-old, obviously. I mean, why the fuck would that make any sense, right? Even though he's buying her stuff doesn't mean that she's necessarily sexually attracted to him. So finally, some men are copping on. There is some hope in this world that the simps will cop on that these girls are doing absolutely nothing for them. The only problem is there's plenty of other simps to cover for all these girls. So even if one or two simps fall out of the game, there's still millions of them who are willing to pay. So these girls will not change one bit. What I'm trying to do on my channel is just warn men and make you actually aware of this situation, that most of you are actually getting nothing in return. And if you are getting something in return and the woman is being fucking fantastic and offering you value in return and giving you a beautiful life, then you found a wonderful woman. And that to me is the aim of the game for all of you.